Welcome to the Savvy Scribe, a podcast for freelance healthcare and medical writers who want to start or grow their business. Your hosts, Carol Bush and Janine Kalbach, will help you build a profitable health writing business without having to spend years figuring it out on your own. Now, let's join the conversation.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. After the show today, I want you to head over to thesavvyscribepodcast.com because I have yet another free training. This one's all about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. My favorite platform for gaining health writing clients is on LinkedIn, and I want you guys to be able to do that as well. So we're going to learn how to optimize your profile. If you go to the website, thesavvyscribepodcast.com, click on the image, you can save your seat. I'm only offering this in February, and it's going to be February 8th. 13th, 19th, and 27th. And it's going to be a live streaming event, so you can ask questions along the way. I'll see you there.
Hello, Savvy Scribes. I am here with a guest today, Sharon, and she is here to talk about her writing journey. She's been writing since 2002, about 18 years ago now, and has been published in 17 different nursing magazines. And she's going to share some of her knowledge, some of her tips, and basically just kind of inspire you today. So welcome, Sharon.
Hi, Janine.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm well. A little cold, but I think it's supposed to end today and get warm again. I don't know what's going on with this winter so far. Where are you located?
I'm in Missouri.
Okay, so what's the weather been like out there? Has it been super cold this winter or warmer?
No, it has been pretty mild. The weather the last week or so has been in the 40s and several sunny days.
Yeah.
Not any snow since it was earlier in the winter before the first of the year.
So you're not used to this either. This is odd.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because the world's ending. Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of warm.
Here it is. So, again, thank you for coming on today. I think it's really interesting for our writers to hear about you because you have quite a career path. Tell me about, where you kind of started in your nursing journey and a little bit of your nursing background to start.
Well, I'm going to date myself when I say I graduated from college with an associate degree in nursing in 1973. So I've been at this for a while.
So you're about 24, right?
Exactly. A friend of mine decided we wanted to go back to school and get a bachelor's degree, and we did, and graduated in 2000. All those years, the 40 years, I have been working at the same hospital medical center, and I've been an OR nurse. So I found my home. I loved my job, but I knew that there would someday be a point where my feet wouldn't be happy with me walking the halls and for 8 or more hours a day. So I recognized when I was back in school, graduating in 2000, that I liked writing term papers, which is probably an oddity. But
not for me. I was the same way.
Okay.
Personally, my journey with schooling, when I had my ADN first, and then I also went back, but I did online. I don't know, was your program online back then?
It was online.
Wow.
But we had to mail in our papers, and we had to go for 2 weeks for a residency on campus in Independence, Missouri, for 2 different times. And there, we didn't do clinicals on patients, but we had a lot of intense clinical work, practicing things, showing we were proficient.
Like the return demonstration kind of stuff on mannequins and such?
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting how they did that kind of hybrid approach back then. And that's cool that it was online because I know like back then, I think I did an online class back then, but it was very basic. In the technology, which is, I mean, it is just so crazy how fast that, and how slow the hospital is at implementing their own technologies, but like, schools can do it so much quicker. But I think it's very interesting because that's a lot of what I hear too, is a lot of people, not even just going back to school, but the OR, it's a little bit different, but did you have to do like a lot of call time too with
Yes.
your job. So, like sometimes you're called in, it's more than 8 hours. It's a 12-hour
yeah.
or 14, 16-hour shift.
Right.
Yeah, you get to a point you're like, I don't know if I could do this my whole life, my whole career.
Exactly.
And that's, a lot of the time where a lot of people are like, I got to do something different. And,
Right.
I think being on this podcast, we are a little bit of a rare bunch that we would rather write a paper than even take a test. Because personally, any day, give me a paper over a test.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that's awesome. Yeah, so great scrubbing experience, circulating experience, all different kind of areas of OR, or was it mostly orthopedic?
When I started in the OR, we didn't have specialized teams, so we did it all. And
Okay.
I learned to scrub fairly early. And in later years, I became the team coordinator, mentor, teacher, organizer. I had partners, but we helped take care of the needs, make sure that the sales reps had the appropriate implants and instruments and all that there. And I did a lot of scrubbing on orthopedics and was the team coordinator for the ortho team. Yes. Both.
Wow, very good. That's a big job. That truly is. I just know my little bit of scrubbing in OB, like just our cases. So I can't imagine all those instruments and all those devices and coordination with all the salespeople too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
We had to be pretty organized to keep it all going smoothly.
Very good.
Did very well. Once in a while there'd be a problem, but most of the time it was done well.
And it's so true. Like it depends on who you work with, like who's part of that team and, coordinating everybody together. So then you started, okay, you liked the writing. So then what happened? What made you kind of transition a little bit?
I realized I wanted to write, and I was searching for someone to help me write something. And so anyway, I found a local writers group. I learned a lot from them and made good friends. One couple took me under their wing and mentored me. And I was going to Missouri Writers Guild meetings and heard a gal talking about nonfiction. And it just clicked with me that, oh, that's what I needed to do. And for nonfiction, for me, has to do with medical writing, medical nursing. So from there, it was pretty straightforward. And people occasionally ask me, are you going to write a novel? Maybe, but, probably not, because this is just where my brain goes.
Right, what you like. Yeah,
I think what I like.
Medical is medical. And if you can serve people in that area, why not?
Right.
Now, so where did you find your local writing group? How'd you find them?
They had a clip in the newspaper.
Very good.
My husband saw it and he said, hey, look at this. And so I went to visit, and I'm still a member.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any other nurses or medical people come through?
No.
See, that's interesting.
Not so much.
That's interesting. Where do you guys host your meetings at?
Here locally.
Like at a library, or is it like
in a church?
In a church. Very good. Very good. Interesting.
In a church. On Sunday afternoons once a month.
Very good. So then did you write your book before you started writing for nursing magazines?
No, I went to AORN articles and saw their guidelines, and
which you were probably really familiar with being the coordinator. So you probably were already a member and all the things, right?
That was my organization, and I'm still a member of that. And so I sent them a pitch, emailed a pitch to the editor, and got a response back. Yes, she'd be interested. And so I sat myself down and wrote an article and submitted it, and it was published, and did a few of those. And then at another writers meeting, my friend, mentor, put her finger in my back and said, go talk to that editor, make a pitch for a book. And I did what she said. So, and he said, I like the idea. we were doing some very exciting things in total hip surgery at that time, some really new technology that's pretty common now, but it was cutting edge then.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I want to hear more, but you have to broaden it out. So my first book was about osteo and rheumatoid arthritis, and I talked about treatments and medications and how alternative care and just a little bit of all of that, and included in there total knees and total hips as two of the most common surgeries for arthritis. So that was my first book. And after I did it, I had a stage fright and I said, what have I done? I can't write a book.
Right? A little bit of imposter syndrome. Like, I am not good enough for this.
Exactly. And my husband said, it's a group of articles about a common topic. Write 18 term papers about arthritis. You can do this. And
that's awesome.
Oh.
What a cheerleader.
Yeah, he's my best cheerleader, absolutely.
Yes.
So I was on a course of approximately a 18 to 20 page chapter a month, working full time. So I was on a mission to prove I could do this. I like challenges. So I finished it and I got that book published. And a couple years later, my husband said, you don't want to be a one book author. You want to show you can do it again. So what
You're
else
like, I do? Okay.
So we had just gone through caregiving with family members, my parents and my mother-in-law. And so out of that came the Caregiver's Guide. And these are both available on Amazon if anybody wants to look at them.
We'll link to them in the show notes too.
Okay, great. And so I did another book. And since then, I've continued along the way writing articles. Books were very prestigious, lots of pats on the back, lots of kudos, not so much money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great if you can write a bestseller, but apparently my books were not, which was okay,
Right.
It was good. So now I branched out, and most recently, since I retired 18 months ago, I'm working on writing for businesses.
Very good. Very good. So when you first started out with the book stuff, were you thinking that it was going to be a big moneymaker?
Not really, but
it was something you wanted to do.
Yeah, it was something
that's the same with me. Yeah, I knew because a lot of people ask me like, oh, how much money did you make off your book? I'm like, well, not that much. Like, it was enough that, it's a fulfilling kind of bucket list kind of thing when you're a true writer, I think. So yeah, I think it's definitely awesome. So are you still PRN at your job?
I am.
Because you still like it?
I still like it. I stayed PRN because they were very short-staffed when I retired, and they have now increased their staffing, and they're pretty much up to par. So they haven't been calling me nearly as much. So now I'm doing more writing, and I'm enjoying that. I can do that from my home office.
Yes. And your feet aren't hurting.
Wonderful. I'm loving it.
So what's your advice for some people that are thinking like, why do I want to do this? Like, besides just getting off my feet for the day.
Yeah. You have to like writing. If you don't, it's going to be boring. You have to have a passion for your topic. So you need to be thinking, if it's something you really want to do, what do you love talking about? What's close to your heart? Because then your enthusiasm and your passion will come through, and your writing will be better because of it.
Sure. And I think that's like with anything, like you really have to love it to really make it,
yes,
joyful for you, like whatever that is in life. Like if you like working out, but you don't like being an instructor of a workout class, but for some reason that opportunity comes up, you take it, you're going to still hate it. Like it's, and I think nursing, we see it, with new nurses that just went into the career basically for stability or whatever. They don't have that passion. They don't have that heart as much as someone else who would, truly went into it because they love it. And it's the same thing with writing. If you don't love it, or at least, because sometimes you start out, you're like, I think I'm going to love it. But then, you get into it and you don't love it. Don't keep going with it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for your spirit.
That's right. Give yourself permission to try things. And if you like it, keep going there and learning and doing. If you find out that's not for you, take a detour. That's
Yes.
One thing about nursing. I tell my young people family members and whomever, there are so many opportunities in nursing. And if, I went on the floor when I graduated from school and I worked there a year and I didn't like floor nursing. So I had to find something else. When I went to the OR, man, that just clicked with me. I loved it.
And you stayed with it. So you truly loved it.
I stayed with it for 40 years. Yes,
yeah.
I did. And I still miss it sometimes and miss the people. I had some wonderful friends. And we still stay in touch. So, it's all good.
Very good. Writing too. I did want to mention the flexibility there. You don't just have to publish articles in a big nursing magazine or really technical type of articles. There's a lot of flexibility in the writing world as well. You might like to create courses for people. You might like to write, copy for websites, just simple blog articles. Like there is a lot of flexibility there too. Not compared to nursing, but all of it is writing. So you do have to like writing a little bit.
Yes.
What's your biggest advice, Sharon, for people that are starting out with a writing business and just want to start growing it? Do you guys love what you're hearing? Why don't you join me in our group on Facebook? It's a closed group for those that have to answer questions and get in, but it's the Savvy Scribe Collective over on Facebook. You can visit our website, www.thesavvyscribepodcast.com, to also get a link. See you in the collective.
Well, mine was very slow. It took, 19 years for me, 18 years, to really do the exploring and getting to where I am today. I think some of the hardest things if you're wanting to write for businesses is finding those businesses and building your identity as a writer. LinkedIn is the one most valuable professional social media. I have had people contact me from businesses. So if you don't have a LinkedIn, I would suggest you build one and keep it updated and friend people. I usually look at what they're doing. If they're a serious writer, I will friend them immediately. If they're somebody else, I kind of look at their profile and decide, I don't know if we have anything in common or not. But it's been slow for me. And if I were trying to do this as a full-time job at the rate I've gone, I would have not done well. I would have starved, honestly. Mm-hmm. But I was working full-time.
Right.
And I have a little bit of a life. I have a husband. So this was comfortable for me. If somebody's quitting their full-time job or even going part-time, then they'd have a lot more time to devote to it. So they probably go a lot faster.
Sure. And I think, you kind of made it like a PRN thing.
I did.
And I think that's a great way to start. I think we get very invested and we're very comfortable in our nursing jobs because it's secure. You get your paycheck and all the things. But,
right.
We're not saying jump ship. Once you get one client, don't jump ship and take on their writing. Establish yourself first. Get comfortable on the writing side if you want to take that on full time, because there are some drawbacks. The people, you don't see people. You have to be self-motivated. you got deadlines and such, and you're not getting your assignment for the day. You have deadlines and you make your assignment for the day. It is definitely different to work for yourself than it is at a organization.
Absolutely. And another thing, build your credentials. Okay,
Yes.
you have that RN. Do you have a BSN? That leads you more credibility. Are you certified in a specialty? And I know those things cost money to do and continue with your credentials, but I am, at this point in my life, I am seeing businesses who want me because I have credentials. I am a nurse. I can write well. And finding them, like I said, has been kind of, a process, not super fast, but I think some of my jobs I have are my first attraction to them was my credentials. So don't consider those not important. They are very important to the business world. They lend them credibility.
Very good. Yeah, that's definitely a great thing to add that I think a lot of people can, stop thinking about, because if you start working for yourself all the time, you're like, well, do I really need this certification anymore? I'm not at the bedside. Why do I really need it? And I think you're right. And it keeps you up to date on stuff because you have to do those extra CEUs and such.
Correct. Yes.
Tell me like 3 things about you that people might not know.
I've been married to the same man for 40 years. He's my best friend.
How'd you guys meet?
At church.
Very good.
Yeah.
What's your secret to stay married?
Well, we like each other.
Hey, that's a good thing.
We love each other also. But,
yes.
The romance, the sex, that's all great. But if you don't like each other and you don't treat each other with kindness, it's not going to be good in the long run.
I like that. You got to like each other.
Yeah. We love to travel. We've been traveling since 2002. So we're trying to see big parts of the world. So that's been fun.
I saw you put down that when you sent these answers to me, Cape Horn, South America, Alaska, Ireland, Scotland, Iceland, Paris, London, and several Caribbean trips. Do you have a favorite?
Several that are high on the list. We really like the South America. We cruised from Santiago, Chile, down around Cape Horn, saw the Falklands, went back up, and left from Rio de Janeiro. And Iceland was amazing. We did that this past May. Loved it. Loved it's not a pretty place with the lava everywhere, but it is a beautiful place and it's just pristine. Paris and London, we love that. We saw the Queen leaving Buckingham Palace in a car. I have a picture of Queen Elizabeth. That was so very exciting.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So
wow.
We have 2 friends, a couple that we travel the world with, and we just have a wonderful time together.
I love that. And I asked that because we, my family, literally, my husband and 2 kids last night went and got our passports because I said, it's time we start doing a little more traveling. And good. I think it's, we're going to start at the, Canadian side of Niagara Falls, but then we do have bigger dreams. But, I think it's very cool. There's so many places, even in the United States, that I haven't seen. But, to have a passport, I'm like, now we can just go if we do want to go. Not have to wait for it. That's very cool. Very cool.
I will warn you, travel days are hard. They just are.
Yeah.
Just grit your teeth and bear it. But once you get there,
it's so worth it.
See is so worth it. Yes.
That's what I hear. What about cruises? You like cruising?
We do like cruising.
It's good to know.
We like going and having a safe place to sleep at night, and yet you can go out with a tour in places that you would never go by yourself.
Sure.
We went to Cuba on a cruise 2 years ago before they shut it back down. And, that's not someplace my husband wanted to go, and I said, I don't know that I want to go sleep there.
Right.
On a cruise. So we did that, and that was quite eye-opening, very
Sure.
interesting.
Very good. Very good. Wow. So, the other thing you said to me is that when you graduated from college as a nurse in 1973, you wanted to buy a sports car, but your dad talked you out of it.
Yes.
And then what happened 40 years later?
It took me a long time, 43 years, but I now have a 2005 Corvette red convertible.
Was it worth it all those years?
It was, well, I don't know, but it's fun now.
I love it. I love it.
And it worked. We couldn't have afforded a sports car when we were raising our daughter. But now that she's grown, we're just indulging our desire for a sports car.
I love it. I love it. Travel in the world in your little sports car, and
right.
PRN. This is the life. This is the life. Perfect.
It took me 40 years to get here, though.
But that's okay. You made it. That's what's exciting. What's heartbreaking is those people that retire and then, die. Basically, that's the worst when
and
you get all the way there. It's like, oh gosh, how awful.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to be that person. That's for sure.
Well, you need a plan.
You do. You do. I got one. Don't you worry.
I do too. Absolutely.
So, any other advice you have for our writers, or just to something for them to take away?
Well, I'm just repeating what I've already said, but write what you love, write what you're passionate about. To me, it's very fulfilling to give back. I feel like I've had a tremendous career as a nurse, and I want to share that knowledge, and that's one of the reasons I'm still writing, to share that knowledge with nurses and with the public when I'm writing for the businesses. And just keep working at it. Sometimes you don't get the opportunities as fast as you want. You get some things that are negatives. When I have a pitch or something like that and they don't take it, I just file it knowing that, number one, it's their opinion. It's the editor's opinion. Number two, what can I learn from it to improve for the next time? So I'm always looking on how to improve my writing. I don't feel like I've arrived at perfection. So it's always a challenge. I read it multiple times before I submit something. I print it, I read it out loud. I have my husband read it. He will give me one free read.
Free. That is payment.
He'll be my editor one time. I can't abuse him.
Right.
That's right. So
I love that.
Just keep working at it. And if you want to, you can do it. This is America where we have these opportunities.
It's perfect. Yeah. And we truly need to embrace that if we can, I think it's so important. Sharon, where can people find you and connect with you?
I have an email address. If anybody wants to, I would be happy to communicate, especially nurses who want to write. If they want to contact me, I would be happy to converse email with them. It's my name with an E in the middle, SharonEhohler @gmail.com. I'm also on LinkedIn as Sharon Hohler. That's probably the two best ways to contact me.
Okay, perfect. Great. Well, I thank you so much for coming on the show today. And I wish you the best in all your travels and your writing journey. And do you have any resources that anybody can access that might help them be a better writer, as in the craft of writing?
Well, there's all kinds of books, of course. There are all kinds of groups. I enjoy your group, Janine. I think our perspective as nurses and writers, that gives a lot of value and a lot of common goals. So I think yours is definitely one I follow. Get to be a part of a local writers group, even if you're the only nurse there,
Mm-hmm.
because you will learn so much about the craft of writing. And some people join critique groups. I have not. I think they probably have some real value where people critique each other's writings. There's all kinds of help out there. I think the writers group and the one-on-one helped me more than most things.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I think a lot of people are shy about, posting questions or stuff. But I think one of the huge things that I've learned through our conversation today is to just keep networking, talk to
Yes.
people and get yourself out there. You don't have to be the star of the show, but if you're sitting next to somebody at a writer's thing, connect with them. Ask them if,
Yes.
you can connect with them on LinkedIn. Those people that you do connect with on LinkedIn, start a little conversation. Ask them how their journey's been. And then even in the Savvy Scribe Collective group over on Facebook, try to find an accountability partner. You said that you had a friend that you went to nursing school with. You guys probably
Yes.
pushed each other, read each other's stuff, and it's so
Yes.
valuable to have somebody like that. So thank you again, Sharon. I really appreciate you coming on, and have a great 2020.
Thank you. I appreciate your inviting me. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your meeting time.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, Janine here. I wanted to just interrupt to tell you guys more about our upcoming course, Plan, Create, Launch, Land, and Grow Your Health Writing Business. If 2020 is your year to shine, you're ready to launch, you're done in the healthcare world, I want you guys to come on into the course. Right now, I am hoping to launch it by March 1st, and it's well on its way. But if you want in earlier, all you have to do is go to Growth Lab, growthlab.thesavvyscribepodcast.com. There you will see everything about the course, what to know, what's in every module, and all about the pricing. So you can get there now and see how to get on the wait list so I can give you updates as we go along.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Savvy Scribe. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, we'd love for you to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Until next time.